Hey, this is Nikki G and welcome to Better Commander. Almost 2 years has passed. It's time to revisit Kaldheim. Alright, Kaldheim released in February 2021. Included a bunch of tribal synergies for elves, giants, angels, demons. There are a bunch of commander cards that I've been slotting in decks since then, and I wanted to take a moment to run through the best budget cards from the set. Budget in my mind is $5 or less, but many of these are much less than that. I'm also not going into elves and snow permanents and angels and stuff. If you're building into those decks, the includes are pretty obvious. Alright, so let's talk about these cards, and hopefully they're going to be some cards where you say, oh boy, oh geez, I didn't know about that card, derpa derpa doo. And then in a fit of utter joy, you'll hit the like button and subscribe button so you'll get more of this idiot's videos in the future. Alright, first up we got Search for Glory, 2 and a white for a snow sorcery. Search your library for a snow permanent card, a legendary card, or a saga card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. You gain 1 life for each snow mana spent to cast this. Okay, ignore everything else and just concentrate on the legendary card. This goes so hard in these Legend Matters from Dominaria Remastered. Yes, it's got Nico Eris on the art, but just pretend it's Gideon's cousin or something. This is 61 cents, it's 3 mana, tutor a legend to hand. Phenomenal. Alright, next up we got Haunting Voyage, 4 black for a sorcery. Choose a creature type, return up to 2 creature cards of that type from your graveyard to the battlefield. If this spell was foretold, return all creature cards of that type from your graveyard to the battlefield instead. Has foretell for 5 black, so during your turn you may pay 2 and exile this card from your hand face down, cast it on a later turn for its foretell cost. The showcase for this is under $4, and mass reanimation effects are hard to come by. We have cards like Patriarch's Bidding, Twilight's Call, Living Death, but those are symmetrical effects. This is a very steep cost, total of 9 mana, but I've played this in zombie decks and self-milled tribal decks. I'm always on the lookout for these types of effects because they are so few. Alright, then you got Alrund's Epiphany, 5 blue for a sorcery. Create 2 1/1 bluebird creature tokens with flying. Take an extra turn after this one and then exile it as foretell for 4 blue. This card's phenomenal. Look at Alrund just over there having epiphanies. It's under $3 for the showcase version. This is fantastic in a token deck. It's less efficient than some extra turn spells, but if you want tokens to polymorph or have spell cost reducers, this is fantastic for the cost. And we got Tybalt's Trickery, 1 and a red for an instant. Counter target spell. Choose 1, 2, or 3 at random. Its controller mills that many cards, then exile cards from the top of their library until they exile a non-land card with a different name than that spell. They may cast that card without paying its mana cost, then they put the exile cards on the bottom of their library in a random order. This was a much talked about card when the set released because it's outside red's color pie to counter spells. But this is a red counter spell for under $3. Tybalt, this guy's out there just doing trick or treats. As with much of red's slice of the color pie though, this can be risky. It's got some random elements to it. But if you're in mono red or red without blue, a surprise counter spell out of nowhere can be super useful. Then we've got Halvar, God of Battle, 2 white for a legendary creature god. It's a 4/4. Creatures you control that are enchanted or equipped have double strike. At the beginning of each combat, you may attach target aura or equipment attached to a creature you control to target creature you control. So in white, Boros, Mardu, we have tons of equipment decks. This fella, he helps out with equip costs. He gives equipped creatures one of the best keywords in the game. $5 is not bad at all. There's an equipment on the back, but it isn't as impactful as the front side. But in an equipment deck, you can use that side if you're in desperate need of something. Halvar, pretty cool guy. Oh sweet, we got a Seeka's Chariot, 3 and a green for a legendary artifact vehicle. It's a 4/4. When a Seeka's Chariot enters the battlefield, create 2 2/2 green cat creature tokens. Whenever a Seeka's Chariot attacks, create a token that's a copy of target token you control. Has crew 4. The sweet thing about this guy is that second ability. The pseudo-populate effect can be really impactful in a token deck. I love this card. In a populate deck, it's just very efficient. You get these 2 sweet little kitties. They're out there purring, pulling the sleigh, doing whatever they're doing. This thing's only about $4. Dream Devourer. This guy's out there eating your dreams, brother. It's 1 and a black for a creature demon cleric. It's a 0/3. Each non-land card in your hand without foretell has foretell. Its foretell cost is equal to its mana cost reduced by 2. Whenever you foretell a card, this guy gets +2/+0 until end of turn. That's not really why we're playing him. We're playing him because he's a demon. He's got the coolest beard in Magic the Gathering right there, brother. Plus, he can let you pay for your cards on an installment plan. You can use that extra mana you have at the end of turn if you don't have anything to do with it. Foretell something, dude. Vega the Watcher. This is what happened to the guy from Street Fighter, the guy with the claw on the end of his hand. It's 1 white and blue for a legendary creature, Bird Spirit. It's a 2/2 with flying. Whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, draw a card. This guy is sneaky good in a deck where you're casting things from the top of your library, from exile, or from your graveyard. This counts your commander as well from the command zone, so if you have a higher mana cost commander and are doing any of those things, remember the bird with the 3 eyes. He's just a mutant of a creepy bird is looking in your window, dude. Mystic Reflection, 1 and a blue for an instant. Choose target non-legendary creature. The next time one or more creatures or planeswalkers enter the battlefield this turn, they enter as copies of the chosen creature. Has foretell for a blue. This card is $1.35 or so. It goes in so many decks. It's just a shark reflecting another shark or something. I don't know what's going on in that art, but it's cool. You can make an opponent's commander into a mana dork, right? You can make your mana dork into a consecrated sphinx. You can make your microwave into a ballistic missile. This card does it all. It fries, it boils, it froils, it bries. Plus, if you're into degenerate nonsense, you can make all your plant tokens into Avengers of Zendikar for a bazillion plant tokens. It's reactive, it's creative, it feeds so many synergies. This card's fantastic. Put it in a deck. Carder Doom Scourge, 2 black and a red for a legendary creature. He's a demon berserker. He's a 4/3. Same as me, dude. I'm a demon berserker. When he enters the battlefield until your next turn, creatures your opponents control attack each combat if able and attack a player other than you if able. Whenever an attacking creature dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. For the low cost of just 4 mana, throw the battlefield into complete chaos as your friends throw their stuff at each other. This goes in your aristocrat decks as well. Any death trigger decks that you want off other people's creatures dying. Most instant speed sacrifice outlets can be activated during combat, so you can declare the thing you plan on sacrificing as an attacker for value, and just sacrifice and get that 1 life. I've had this card in a few decks. I love it. Finn the Fangbearer, 1 and a green for a legendary creature. Is a human warrior. It's a 1/3 with Death Touch. Whenever a creature you control with Death Touch deals combat damage to a player, that player gets 2 poison counters. This is a nasty build around commander, but it goes in any deck where you're leaning on Death Touch or building into proliferate effects. Look at this old guy. Burning-Rune Demon, 4 black for a creature, Demon Berserker. Burning-Rune Demon has flying. When Burning-Rune Demon enters the battlefield, you may search your library for exactly 2 cards not named Burning-Rune Demon, okay, that have different names. If you do, reveal those cards. An opponent chooses one of them. Put the chosen card into your hand and the other into your graveyard, then shuffle. This guy reminds me a little bit of Rune-Scarred Demon. It's probably his cousin or something. Though he has, that's a straight demonic tutor. This is better for graveyard decks though. Pick 2 reanimator targets or a Phyrexian Delver and a creature you really need. It's a win-win really, and this guy is a steal for under $4. Then you got your Glorious Protector, yeah. 2 white for a creature, Angel Cleric. It's a 3/4 with flash and flying. When Glorious Protector enters the battlefield, you may exile any number of non-angel creatures you control until Glorious Protector, yeah, leaves the battlefield. Has foretell for 2 and a white. I've been a fan of this card for a bit. You can flash this card out, protect your board from a board wipe for 4 mana. Heck, you can even do your own board wipe, as long as you aren't an Angel Tribal. This is a sweet, tricky version of a protection spell, and it costs way less than Teferi's protection. Raven Form. This sounds like something Harry Potter would say. I'm going to cast Raven Form. I'm a wizard. Look at me. Oh no, here comes the sorcerer's snake. 2 and a blue for a sorcery. Exile target artifact or creature. Its controller creates a 1/1 bluebird creature token with flying. Has foretell for 1 blue. 22 cents for this sweet exile effect in blue, which isn't great at getting rid of artifacts as a color. So it's a bit of a color pie break. It's a cool, unique card. Then you've got Vargoth, Blood Sky Sire. 2 and a black for a legendary creature, Demon Rogue. It's 2/3 with Death Touch. Has Boast for 1 and a black. Target player searches their library for a card, then shuffles and puts that card on top, like Vampiric Tutor. Activate only if this creature attacked this turn and only once each turn. This guy's out there, he's living his best life, alright? He's slaying dudes, he's ripping their skin off, he's doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Knucklehead. The showcase is $3, the regular version is $6. I don't know why. This guy is pretty great in certain decks. A repeatable Vampiric Tutor effect can be very powerful, but it's attached to a relatively fragile creature. The Death Touch helps it get through though. I'm pretty high on this guy, I have him in a couple decks. Oh man, then we got Starnheim Courser, 2 and a white for a creature, Pegasus. It's a 2/2 with flying. Artifact and enchantment spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. This is a very efficient cost reducer that goes in a ton of decks. Artifact decks, enchantment decks, equipment decks. It has evasion so you can wear your equipment in a pinch as well. Alright, last one, I'll let you go have your popsicle. Rise of the Dreadmarn, 2 and a black for an instant. Create X 2/2 black zombies or berserker creature tokens where X is the number of non-token creatures that died this turn. Has foretell for 1 black mana. The real strength of this card is in the ability to do all this for 1 black mana after a board wipe. And there are so many decks that kill creatures for profit. Combine this with a Phyrexian altar and you're getting so much mana. Cool card in the right deck. These guys look like they're marching off to Best Buy to get those Black Friday deals. It's fun to look back at older sets and see where things landed. I hope this video finds you well and helps with whatever brew you're brewing. I actually went online and bought a few of these to use in future decks after I saw how cheap they are. Let me know what you think in the comments. We'll see you next time. Sneaky G from Better Commander, signing off.